Welcome to your weekend football morning show, your favorite Saturday show. You're here with me, Punch, as well as Musiani. You know, Musiani, sometimes I'm so used to getting on radio, and I have a tagline in terms of how I get on. And then there's this show, I have a different tagline, so I tend to sometimes mix them up. So yeah. So it's the Get Up Show. Welcome everyone to the Get Up Show. And yeah, we've got a lot to talk about, quite a bit, and Zambian football. Where do we begin from? Okay, let's begin from the Zambia under 17. Then we'll move to the Zambia national team. In fact, we actually left the Zambia national team topic out, but we haven't discussed it yet after the elimination. But we'll speak about the Zambia under 17s who started their COSAFA campaign this past week, and we lost 4-0 to South Africa. We will begin with Musiani. What do you think about the performance so far of the Zambia under 17 in that one game?
Look, I didn't watch the game. It was, I think, during briefly working hours, but I was paying close attention, following it, the scoreline. So, when it got up to 3-0, I was a bit in shock because this is an under 17 team. Obviously, there's additions, etc. But every under 17 team we've had in the COSAFA region hasn't been this terrible, losing 4-0 to South Africa. If I'm not mistaken, these boys were unbeaten, current champions. So it's a bit of a disappointing result, but it goes to show that I think you should go for everything we've been crying for, where you have a dedicated person for each age group. To, if I'm not mistaken, Chris Kaunda was roped in. I don't know from where. So it's either we make him permanent, someone that will be the caretaker or the manager for the under 17, manager for the under 20, manager for the senior team, and I think everyone should be aligned in terms of their philosophy and how they want to play from that same grassroots level. So I think every manager that's been assigned the task of handling the junior levels should also be part of the national team, the technical bench, the coaching staff. I think all of them should be part of that system, so that everyone is aligned with the style of play. So it doesn't matter even if an Avram Grant comes in and sees what's going on at the under 17. Wow, Moses Sichone is there at the under 17, coaching the under 17 or the under 21, so that we can also watch and see who's outstanding in these younger age groups, and maybe give them a shot or see where they go in league football and continue to follow them and maybe give them a shot eventually in the national team if we've seen the bright ones, the outstanding ones in the team. Otherwise, it was a very, very disappointing result. I didn't expect us to lose South Africa by 4-0. South Africa have always been good even at the younger ages, but Zambia have always been a team that's a force to reckon with at any age group, and it's been a disappointing result. We hope they can. I actually don't hope. I know in the next game they will come back and fight for that win. So for me, disappointing results, and let's hope they do better in the next game.
Abayelo.
Yeah, very disappointing results. Unfortunately, it's become like a pattern. I don't know which national team is going to get Keith Mwemba going, because it looks like all the national team, the women, the senior national team, the Chan team, the underward, nobody's winning. Like, since Keith came, every national team keeps losing, and we just don't know what's happening. But then again, it also goes to show what South Africa has done, Because South Africa has really invested, and their investment is showing. Their investment in young people is showing. You know, when it's these tournaments we call COSAFA, they don't call their season teams. They take young players there, and they are preparing their national team. They are preparing a pool. They are widening the national team selection. They don't take the same players the way we do here for our COSAFA. We keep taking same players each year. But when you look at the South African model, that's why they are going to the World Cup now. South Africa is going to the third World Cup. I don't know, third or fourth World Cup now. But these are the people that learned football from us. You know, we were a far more developed footballing nation before South Africa, but South Africa is now going to the third or fourth World Cup now over us because we are not learning what South Africa is doing. If we can just copy some of the things they are doing, it's really common, like common sense. You know, some basic tournaments, Zambia wants to win at all costs. These COSAFA, we keep taking veterans and veterans all the time. South Africa keeps taking young players there because they know that these are the future. So it's an investment that South Africa has done in the junior teams, the women's team, and all these levels. They've got these categories all ticking. But for us, we don't even know who is the under 17 coach right now. We just keep changing. We don't know who is now the technical thing. The technical committee keeps changing. You know, like it's we don't even have any direction. We don't even have any policy direction. Keith has not even provided the direction or the vision or where we are going and what's going to happen. We are just like on remote control. We are just like on a pilot. We just don't know what's going on. We have no vision, nothing. So these are the things that the new executive should look at. Should They should tell us like what is the plan for the junior teams? What is the plan for the senior national team? Because we keep hearing, no, we are losing this World Cup qualifier for the senior team because we want to qualify for 2030. You can't allow losses now to win tomorrow. You have to make a plan to start winning now. Or if you want to qualify for 2030, what is the plan? These are the teams that we should now be building, the under 17 and what. But what is the plan for them? What's going on? We don't even know what's happening. We are just being taught footballing lessons every time now because our friends are doing different things. Here in Zambia, we are doing close to nothing. When you go to Tanzania, there are programs for young people. They are ticking. When you go to Kenya, there are programs for young people. They are ticking. When you go to South Africa, there are programs for young people, for young footballers, under 17, under 20, under 14, under 15. They are all functioning. But here in Zambia, all youth programs are not working. The Coca-Cola tournaments are not working. The secondary school tournaments are not working. All these programs we used to have, they are not functioning, and these are the results. So we should not be shocked when Zambia loses to South Africa 3-0, because this is what we are preparing for, and these are the results we are getting.
Thanks a lot, Abba Yellow. Favor, your thoughts? Favor, are you there? And can everyone kindly have their mics, their cameras on today, so that we see everyone? Can everyone kindly have their cameras on today, so that we see everyone? Favor, are you there? Okay, I cannot hear Favor. Maybe as some network issues. I know network has become a bit of a problem. It's become a bit of a problem. Okay. Let me give my views. Okay, so the I'll give my thoughts on even before the tournament began. I recognized a number of challenges before the tournament began. One of those was the choice of coaches. The choice of Ian Bakala, who had left. He was in Zimbabwe. So when the announcement was made about 3 weeks to a month now, I was wondering that why is Ian Bakala being announced when he's in Zimbabwe with Caps United, who are struggling with relegation? It didn't add up. Then the assistant Emmanuel Suwale, and then I was left wondering again to wonder, like, Emmanuel Suwale is with the Emmanuel Suwale. I'm just trying to add favor here. Okay, we'll add him. I don't know why we can't add him. So I was wondering, Emmanuel Suwale is with ZSL United, and then there was that contentious issue in the background of ZSL United not knowing who their coach was. So for me, automatically, I was thinking that, well, if ZSL United don't know who their coach is, then it's a risk to put Emmanuel Suwale because they won't, most likely won't call him. Then there was Lamek Banda, and I was wondering that Lamek Banda, as far as I know, has not been. And remember, when I'm saying this, not from a point of view that I have anything against any of these individuals. No, I'm just analyzing. Lamek Banda has not been involved in youth football since when he was FC Muza youth coach. This must have been more than 5-6 years ago, probably 5-6 years ago. And then I think the other one was, I can't remember each and every one, Clive Hachelenza, who's also at ZSL United, busy. And the last one was Martin Mwamba Power Dynamos, and as well as the last one being Francis Konde. So the initial list, before they brought in Chris Kaunda, I was looking at the list and I was wondering to be like, but there's no one on this list who deals with youth players. Not even one person. So for me, it struck me to be like, how is it possible to, call all these individuals who are not involved in youth football? And one thing which also struck me was, where is our Aaron Kawangu? Now, it must be noted that I don't know Aaron Kawangu personally. I've never met him before. I just follow his work. I've seen him at the stadium here and there, but never talked to him. So from that perspective, I know he's done very good work in terms of the junior teams. He's worked at Atletico Lusaka before, and he's one of the best junior coaches we have in Zambia, from my perspective, what I see. And last year he was leading the Zambia under-15s. I think they went outside the country for 1 or 2 tournaments. Why has he not graduated to the under-17s? Because a number of these lads are coming from the under-15s, and they've graduated this year to the under-17s. And he's not there. And he's a professional youth coach. So already we cannot have success when the technical bench, in terms of youth football, it's questionable. And then another thing I noticed, also, okay, now comes the tournament, and Chris Kaunda is only announced a day or 2 before the tournament. He actually admits to say that, I'm coming in last minute in terms of my participation in this team. How do we expect success when? And this was a similar situation to what happened for the Chan. At the Chan, Avram Grant was only called in last minute. And then I was wondering, how do we expect to win? How do we expect to beat Kenya, to beat Congo, to beat Morocco, who've had their coaches have been there for a long period, some years, some months? And then again, Chris Kaunda announced last minute. I know some people come in and say, no, he was working in the background. What we know from what was shared online on media, that's what we know. And Chris Kaunda, thankfully, he admitted it himself, says that I've just been called up. We've had no time to prepare. We can't expect success, guys, from that situation. Already the technical bench don't know the players. And then it makes me wonder, who selected the players? Like, who selected the under 17 if Chris Kaunda was called in last minute, and then the other coaches are coming from clubs who selected the players? Now, there's nothing wrong with selection of players being done by someone else, because it's not something which I can say is uncommon in youth football. You find that maybe the people behind the selection were, for example, the National Team Technical Committee, maybe the Football Association of Zambia, what do they call it? The Technical Directorate, so which is the technical director, and then I don't know if he's got people under him. So it's possible that they are the ones who select, which there's nothing wrong with that. But my issue comes in to be like, these coaches don't know the players, and how is it possible that the technical director of the Football Association of Zambia, and I'm not blaming him, did not make a suggestion to be like, we need a youth coach, because the youth coach who coaches, and when I talk about youth coach, I'm not talking about someone who may be young of age. No, I'm talking about someone who regularly coaches these youth players, regularly plays against other youth teams. He knows youth football. None of the technical bench are youth coaches. None. Yes, Chris Kaunda was a youth coach with the Zambia under-17s, but that was 11 years ago, 10, 11 years ago. You know, the youth players he knew then, the Patson Dakas, all these players that he trained, very good coach. Well, I'm not saying he's a bad coach. Now they're 28. He hasn't been in the system for a long time, so he doesn't know the young players who are there now. And we're playing against a South African side who have got professional youth coaches. I feel that FAZ really needs to work, or else, you know, we are talking about qualifying for 2030 World Cup. I'm not seeing it happening. You know why? Because the 2030 World Cup is 5 years from now. Now, please, people need to understand how important this is. 5 years from now, that's when the 2030 World Cup is. These players we are seeing today are the players who will most likely be, a number of them will be on the pitch. They are 15, 16 now. They will be 2021. So they should be the age of the likes of Miguel Chaiwa, the age of the likes of David Hamansenya, the age of the likes of which other player, Happy Nsiku. That's the age which they will be 5 years from now to qualify for the world, to help us qualify for the World Cup. So if we mess up with these under 17s, we can't dream of 2030. We can't dream of qualifying for the World Cup for 2030 if we mess up the development of these kids. So what FAZ need to do, and I think they need to do this with urgency. Yes, the competition will be over, but bring in qualified youth coaches to this thing. If it means that Chris Kaunda remains the coach, but let him still be in the setup. Let him connect him now with youth coaches, people who deal with youth. There's a different, you know, as I said, football has changed. Now football is more scientific. There's a way you train youth players, which was different a number of years ago. If we're bringing in senior football coaches who are used to training senior players a certain way, with junior players they will fail. Even if it's just someone like a physical trainer, there's a way you train a junior player. It's not the same, professional football and junior football. So we've messed up this developmental stage already. This COSAFA tournament is that it will be a miracle if we beat Malawi, because Malawi we had no camp. Malawi have announced their squad in, I think that was August the 11th, August the 12th. They've been in camp for a long period of time, because remember the Malawian League has not been, it's not taking place, the Malawian League, because they'll be having, I think they're having elections or something like that, the country elections. So because of that, the clubs have been the clubs have been free to release players for these camps. So the Malawian national team has had the camp longer than we have. We didn't have a camp actually, And it will be a miracle if we beat Malawi. It will be most likely individual brilliance, not that we have any type of brilliance. So these are my personal worries with this under-17 squad. That already we are messing up in who we are bringing in the technical bench. It's a mess. When I was looking at the list, and remember, I'll say before I sign off, and let others talk. When I saw the list, it's a who's who of who I knew in football growing up. It's a who's who, you know. The people I know. But for me personally, that type of football, in Asira, you know what I mean? Now, if you look at all these squads which are there at the COSAFA, even like the Burkina Faso squad technical bench, which beat us at the AFCON this year for under-17. Some of the people on the technical bench, Svazivika, you know, they are not people who are known, they are former players, they are career youth coaches. That means their job from when some of them have never played football. There are people who've just said that in a youth football, they'll go to school for it, they'll study sports science for it, they'll have their CAF badges. But even us in Zambia, Bariko, there are these people, but I don't know, for whatever reason, we keep having this default of that the people who should be involved in football, junior level, senior level, are former players. That it's killing us. That mentality. I'm not saying former players should not be there. There should be a balance. All these national teams we see junior, there's a balance. Kuliko Obama former players, like South Africa, if I'm senior national team, they've got Helman Makarere. Then they've got people you've never heard of who've never played football, who's the second assistant, third assistant who are career. So there should be a balance. It's a triple balance. It's just former players. And then we get surprised when we are beaten like that. So those are my thoughts. I don't know who can join in next. Milias. Thanks,
Punch, and good morning, everyone. You know, I think you've raised good points.
Before you come in, can I just ask Punch, because Zambia national team were unbeaten, the under-17, and won, and the current defending champions, and they were coached by a former national team player, and this has been the structure for years in Zambian football. And I understand you're saying football has changed nowadays, but it's been the same structure for years, and these under-17s and whatnot have not been terrible, have been doing well. And like I said, they've been unbeaten. I think they went all 15 matches or something like that, unbeaten, or some crazy record like that, and they were doing extremely well with the former coach. So how can you go ahead and today just come and change and say, well, we need to get rid of all the former soccer players
because the difference is that they've over the past, so two things have happened here, Musian. Two things have happened from my observation. So previously, before, there was a graduation from because in Zambia, our football setup starts now by under 15, then under 17, under 20, under 23. That's the last, then senior. So previously, before, there was a graduation from, if there's a technical bench, which starts at under 17, it moves to under 20, it moves to under 23. It happened with Chisimbewe. Chisimbewe started with under 17s. He graduated to under 20s. I think now he should be taking over under 20 if Red Arrows will agree. Then there was also who else? Ian Bakala himself started with under, I think it's under 15s initially, then took them to under 17s. Now, every single person, is under 15, because remember that it's a graduation, so the under 17 coaches should now go to under 20. Now, every single coach who was in under 15s, there's been no graduation. So we're talking about, that's the first thing. We're talking about Aaron Kawango, Arikut, you know, where is he in all this? He is a youth coach. Arikuti, William Jovu, Arikuti. So why the team was winning consecutively for the last, since 2018, they had won all the games, was that even if the players changed, there was always members of the team who moved with the group of players. The under 17s got graduated to under 20. The under 15 players got graduated to under 17, and some of the under 17 football coaches, under 15 football coaches, graduated to under 17 together with the lads. So there was continuity. All the coaches of this under 17 team, they've never dealt with these under 17 lads. They've never dealt with them. They are completely new players to them. So there's no continuity. The continuity has been broken, and we can't expect success if there's no continuity. If there's just no new people, new everything. Because even the players where are our coaches? With some of the coaches, the way they interact, the way they coach them. So that's then the second thing is that what led to us being successful is that each and every year, even if there was a senior coach like Ian Bakala who coaches club football, there were always members in the technical bench who were youth coaches. That was their professional thing in junior football. They would coach. Aaron Kawangwa, as I give an example, because one of the best youth coaches, he would be in around the junior teams. William Jovu, he would be in around the junior teams. So this was what led to the success, because the junior coaches know the young players. Bazibana, they know that this young player plays. So they're even the ones who make the suggestion to be like, oh, let's call up this player. Bamatamba, ball. So this was what led to the success. That success now has been broken. We've brought in coaches who don't deal with junior teams. If some of them did, maybe it was 10 years, like Chris Counter. If maybe others also 10, 15 years ago, which the players who they dealt with, Benjamin, 27, 28, some of them are in their 30s. So how do we expect success? It can't happen. So that's my action. I know I've spoken too much. Apan Zankarazi. Milia, sorry. For cutting you.
It's fine.
I'm quiet now.
It's fine. It's fine. You raised some good points, Punch. You know, for starters, I must say, I was also a bit, I would say, not disappointed, but surprised with Chris Counter being caught up in the last minute. And for me, I thought it was going to be a disaster, you know, from then, because this is a man who's not acquainted with the team. So already those were going to be issues. But coming to the topic, you know, it's for me, it's a period we're in. You know, it's a transition period. Things are changing. A lot of structures are going to break. You know, they have to be rebuilt and the like. So such things will always be there. You know, I'll say this over and over again. Change is not always seamless. You understand? So it's like we're in a loop. You know, so if you're going to break that loop, obviously things won't be the same. But with time, it gets better. If I can take you back to, I know I heard John say Keith doesn't have a vision and the like, but if I can take you back to his manifesto, you know, clearly he says when it comes to youth football, we are supposed to have designated coaches, you know, coaches that are specifically for the youth teams at all age groups. You understand? So that's a vision he shares. But what really he needs is time to implement such things. You know, I think the only problem we have in Zambia is that we want instant results. You know, we want quick fixes, and it doesn't work like that. So I think for me,
I've got a question, Julius. Was there a problem? Was there a problem with the under 17s who had won the last 5 all the group matches since 2018, who had qualified for the World Cup for the first time at Zambia under 17 level? Was there a
Not really.
problem to be fixed with the under 17s?
Not really, Punch. But I'll tell you one thing: Ian is no longer in Zambia. He's in Zimbabwe. So the other question is, was Caps United going to release Ian Bakala and the like? The answer is obviously not. But Chris Kaunda just came in on an interim basis. Once we go to the World Cup, Bakala will be back. So for me, this was just a temporal solution as FAZ tries to fix a permanent, find a permanent solution. This was just a quick fix, but I don't think Ian was going to come and go to COSAFA. Hence the changes. So for me, FAZ went for the quickest fix, and to them, Chris Kaunda was the closest because of what he's done before. The only difference is that he came in late. I think the blunder they made was go for Emmanuel Siwale, who really I think wasn't going to come in because of Zesco United. So for me, I honestly feel we need to be patient. I know this is a story that people won't want to listen, but 3-4 months is just little time to fix everything. One thing we have
There
to
was
Medias,
go.
nothing to fix, Medias.
what was broken? Medias, what
No,
was
but
broken?
doesn't
Why remove each and every person who from the junior teams who had yes, Ian Bakala is understood. It's understood. It's
yeah,
well understood. He's busy, but there are so many
yeah.
people. Where is William Job? Where is these were critical people who caused the success of and who deal with junior players. But everyone has been. I don't know if they've been pushed to the side or they've been pushed and told to leave. I don't know. But why remove each and every individual who contributed to the success of Zambia qualifying to the under 17 World Cup for the first time and bring in people? Most of them are not involved in youth football. Not even a bit. It's when you look at the list of names, Medias, it's a name of former Zambia national team players or on the checkbook bench. Are we lying?
No, you're not. You're not, Punch, and you're not. But I don't know about that. But one thing I know is that we changes here. We different structures are coming in, and the COSAFA under 17, same as the outings senior national teams have had. I think they just came in so quick, like 3-4 months, where FAZ hasn't put the hand on the ground. I think they were clear in saying this was just temporary. Something permanent is coming. Uh, Something good will come. You don't expect something to last forever, Punch. Things like this will be there. Unfortunately, that's the price you pay for change. You understand? So it don't get better now, but at some time when FAZ gets a grip, I'm honestly sure things will, fall in place. But I get your point on the changes. I think that's my contribution.
Yeah. It's tough to be. It's tough
Yeah,
to be
Johnny.
Medias right now. Every week he says we need time. Every week we need time. How much time does Keith need? It's
No,
getting
but
old, Medias. You can't use that anymore. It's
it, it,
getting
has-
old.
it has only
He
been four
did.
months. It has only
He didn't tell us you need 1 year.
Favor coming. Favor coming.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, so okay. So yeah, it's a disappointing result from the defending champions, of course.
Again, I think it's network issues. James, come in.
Good morning, guys. Apologies, I know you passed a rule that I've broken. I accept the charge of the video.
But you let him in.
Naone, James, you are late. But anyway, continue. You are late. I did not notice. We have a rule now for late coming. But anyway, you can continue. Apologies. I added him by accident. You can continue. James, are you there?
What about the video, Rupanj?
Yeah, so I'm back.
We'll discuss it in the background. Yeah, so continue, James.
The topic that's there for the junior teams, I think, as many as I've said, maybe we try to trust their process, but
James, where's your video?
Sorry?
We need to see you on the video.
Yeah, this is why I apologized first. This is why next week I'll make sure I'm on the video.
Okay, let him continue.
I know I'm like my background.
Okay, no problem. Continue.
It's a problem.
So
continue.
for the senior team, I think of course people are talking of grant, though there are a lot of manufacturers, but for the junior teams, I don't see what we can say needed to be fixed because they are producing results, they are winning trophies, and there was nothing wrong with the teams. So if something is not broken, then why trying to fix it? So I feel the changes that were made at the junior side, maybe trying to say we're trying to set our own pace. Maybe they came too soon or too early, especially that the teams were producing results and everything. I think they should have left it the way they have done with women's football, where they have maintained because results are coming in. So maybe the changes because the guys who have come in, they've got different philosophies, different understandings of football, different age groups, and some of these coaches that have been brought, they will bring for you 1999, 2000 kind of philosophy for junior football, which they are new updated curriculums, which might not work based on time that has moved on because they are bad coaches. So for me, actually, it was really embarrassing the way we played yesterday and the changes that were made. I feel FAZ should have maintained the people who are leading these junior teams because there was nothing wrong because results and everything. So I think it's one of the wrong decisions. Let's see what they have for us. If this is what the Bozani's technical, if this is what Bozani's favorite technical bench, is it technical team that was selected, put together, this is what it's going to bring for us on the table, then I'm worried as to where they're heading us to, because now we're no longer just getting results at the senior level. We haven't just gotten results at the senior level or women's senior level, but now if we are beginning to get these results also at the junior level where we are dominating, especially in the Southern Africa, the past few years, then it will be worrying to see, and then we might be heading for worse than what we saw. But for now, for the 100+ days they have been there, we'll trust the process of what we are trying to see. Let's see after this tournament, because this is the appointment they have made. One game gone, we've lost it, and I'm not sure in terms of preparations, how this was prepared, also the under-17. But recently, the preparations were poor, especially for the national team, that sometimes they were called as causes. But for the under-17 now, let's see what result they'll bring for us from this tournament. And from there, we can talk and see the next tournament. If we don't qualify to AFCON under-17, it will be a bit disappointing, of course, because we are from there. We're expecting to go there so that we do better than we did the last outing we went there. So, and coming from AFCON under-17, coming to perform like this, I think somehow uncalled for. So we are not sure of the roadmap that the Keith members group is taking us, or is where they are taking us. We'll only be sure when we start seeing results, and these changes they are making, they become impactful. But for the junior teams, I think I didn't see any necessity of. And then the other thing is these same coaches who have come in. These are people who have come. I've seen a lot of faces who have come in with their own ideas and own kind of selection. And a lot of people were questioning Grant about his selection. But now also, wow, the new man also has his own selection. This guy who went to Zimbabwe, at least I've met him on several times where he's watching these raw leagues. He's watching these raw leagues. He spent time to see these guys play. So what I'm not just sure is the new coach, was he just recommended these players, or he actually took time the way Ian would do and select players on merit, or he was just recommended, say this one, this one, this one. There are certain conversations we had in the group that were the concerned. So let's see what first. So saying they needed to fix something in this team, I think first there was nothing to fix at all. There was nothing to fix at all. The team was okay, despite not playing, giving us a good display to AFCON. But Southern Africa were dominating at junior level, whether women or men. So let's hope we're not in for a disaster because of changes, or they will bring some people, as Zit Punch was saying, they need to bring people who are dealing with youth football, who understand youth football. It will be better. We've got a lot of coaches who understand it. So let's see how things will change, and let's see how things will be under Keith Mwemba, so that, but the area, the better that we want to see results, because at the national level, we have failed to produce results. But even at the pride of the under teams, if we start getting poor results, then it will really be worrying because of the changes. And let the changes not come because maybe you promise people. This is just a view, not that it's a fact. Maybe you had promised people, or they were connection kind, let it come on merit, so that results will come, not based on who you know or what you think can be best, because it used to be in 1999. Football has developed and football has changed. We need people with a mindset of the new curriculum of football. So, yeah, I think Bakala, we can see how it would have been done, and it's sad that we are seeing this punch. I think that's my submission for now.
I'm sorry, guys. I think there's some. Just give me a minute. You come in immediately after me. I think there's some ulterior motive in the way these sentiments are being lent here.
Yeah.
Let's just not forget that this is game one. We are behaving like we've been knocked out of the tournament. What happens if Zambia wins this same tournament? What happens if they win the tournament? Are you going to now continue saying that no, the structures are still incorrect? Are you going to continue and have a different narrative? Let's see how the tournament goes before we jump to conclusions as though we've been knocked out and haven't won the tournament.
Yeah.
We lost 3-0. It's a bad result.
Mutman,
We need to. We are not supposed to come here and praise that.
Man, we are not going to talk of what we haven't seen yet. We
You
are
want us
talking
to
of what we have
celebrate a
seen yet. We have
3-0
seen
just because they
zero
might win
results.
the tournament.
It's game one. We're
But you
still in
want
the
us to
tournament.
celebrate
You
a
haven't been
3-0.
knocked out. You guys are
3-0
behaving
is a
like
disaster result, my
by the
brother.
way. It was 4-0 by the way.
Musiani, can I ask a question?
No, Midas is coming in now.
Yeah.
3-0, you want
Let
us to celebrate.
me ask you a question. I honestly think, for me, I honestly think we have been a bit. I don't know if hypocritical is the word. Didn't we go to AFCON and fail to win a single game? Wasn't everyone complaining that Bacala's team failed to win a single game? You know, so if we say nothing was broken,
But Southern Africa was never an issue, Miriam.
No, but if I don't finish, I mean, I don't think you get my point. So
Sorry, I removed Medias by mistake. My apologies. Sorry, I was
You are
trying to.
supposed to remove King, Punch. You are supposed to remove King.
I was trying to put him on. I was trying to put him on the full thing. So that he's. It's my apology. My error.
The person
My
you're
error.
supposed to remove is
Just
King.
to answer Musman who came through.
Punch is a dictator here. You're being a dictator.
No.
Musman is, we cannot talk of results you haven't seen yet.
I apologize. I hope
We cannot talk of results you haven't seen yet. This one I'm saying, let's see.
Can we add millions so
I
that
was answering to you to say we cannot speak of results we haven't seen.
Yeah, and I was saying that it's simply game one. It's game one. It's a 4-0 result. As if you came in at the beginning of the show, you would have heard how I expressed my disappointment in the result. But that being said, it's game one. We cannot be talking as though it's the end of the national team. What happens if this same team goes ahead and wins?
We speak of what we have seen. That's why I said.
Okay, let Milias continue. Sorry, Milias. It was an accident. You can continue.
That's why we say let's see what will happen going forward. That's giving them a doubt.
Okay, so I was even concluding. I was saying we went to the Africa Cup, AFCON. We didn't win a game, and everyone was complaining. No, Yan Bakara, this under 17, and they like this and that. Now that FAZ is trying to fix the issue, and everyone is here complaining. But one thing we have to remember, even if
it was okay. What is he fixing?
But let me finish. It wasn't okay.
Let him finish.
Listen, the fact that we went to, and I know you won't like this, but the fact that we went to AFCON, we did not win a game. Obviously, that was a problem. You've been here, Jones. You've said COSAFA doesn't count several times. So should we be content with just winning COSAFA? The answer is obviously no. And then here comes the issue. If we are going to find the solutions, obviously there have to be changes. If we are going to bring changes, obviously there will be hiccups. Change is not seamless. The problem in Africa is that we need quick fixes. Football life has got no quick fixes. So it's just one game. And everyone is here. Nothing was broken. Aren't you the ones that were complaining that we can't make it on the continental stage? So I think even as we offer checks and balances, let's be factual and let's just be fair in the things we do. Change will come, but change will not always please people. Hiccups will be there. That's my submission.
Yeah, but Milias, what you're talking about, to qualify to that AFCON, we won some games. The Copa Queens to qualify to the World Cup, to the Olympics, they won some games. These boys to qualify to World Cup, they're under 17, they won games. Now we are winning nothing. We are winning totally nothing at any level. Nothing, zero win. So what are you talking about when you say they are fixing? We have gone worse from
Yeah, you can finish. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
Yeah, that I've finished. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That we have become
But
worse than what
to
was
answer,
fixing.
to answer your question, Jones, change is
Mm.
never seamless. Are we going to are we going to have changed by maintaining the same people? The answer is no. But if we're going to change, the technical bench and the like, hiccups will be there. But in
Milias,
future,
but okay, Milias. Let me give my okay. Let me allow you to finish. Then maybe I give my views.
no, I was
Okay, so you
actually
can
done.
finish.
I was just going to say the same thing. Change is not seamless. The fact that we've changed people, hiccups will be there, and this is expected. So what I can call for is just patience. Things will get better. Yeah, that's my submission.
Okay. I feel that in Zambia we are behind a lot of African countries, not even European. We've gone behind a lot of African countries because why is there a need to change? And I've taken time to look across a number of African football, African national teams. Now, what is happening is when there is a new exco which has come in as compared to the previous one, a lot of the people who are career people are still maintained. So these are people who are there in football for continuity, because football in the current day needs continuity from the past to the present. Now, from what you are saying, Emilius, you're saying that you are talking quite a bit about change, but sometimes there's no need to change when there's success. If you look at the Zambia, if you look at
Sorry,
the,
just one question. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you. Were you happy with AFCON under-17 results?
So, if we take a look at the AFCON, at the Zambia under-17, we take a look at it from the past, from as far back as 20, was it 2015, when we qualified for our first Africa Cup, where there was the Patson Dakas and all these Mangani Banda and all these other players who ended up coming. Prosper Churea, so many of these players came. Some of them ended up going to under 20. That was the time we qualified. And then, we started doing well at COSAFAs. Then we qualified for the AFCON under 17. And for the first time, we have reached the World Cup. So this is the first. Zambia had never reached the World Cup before. Zambia had never in the past even qualified out of the group stage of the AFCON under 17 before this year. But we qualified out of the group stage, and then we qualified to the World Cup, which was good. Yes, we suffered a loss, but there has been an improvement from 2013 when we couldn't get out of the group stage. If I recall, we even lost all our games. And then now there's been progression. And the progression has not necessarily always been about the players. It's been about the consistency over a long period of time, from 2013 to date, of keeping certain critical members of the junior teams, whereby there's progression. There's always a member from the previous years. But now we've seen a break in terms of that. And for us to get to that level, it will be difficult because we are competing with teams who have had the same coach for a number of years. Malawi, they've had Enos Chatham, I think, for 2-3-4 years. So they'll be ahead of us. They've had members of the same technical committee, technical bench. So for us, we are like we've said that okay, this we qualified for the World Cup. But qualifying for the World Cup, all these technical committee members from the under-15s, from the under-17s, they're done. We are done with them. We're removing them, and we're starting afresh. But why start afresh when there's been success? It's been not huge success, but it's been gradual. and everyone can agree that there's been a difference, improvement over the years. So the issue is that we won't see success if we break the chain, which is what we are facing here. Bozani, you there?
I didn't get your question.
What is your view of the performance of the Zambia under 17 so far? As we move on to the next topic.
Oh, disastrous. I saw your statistics as the West. Look, uh, you can't find better ways to describe that. Okay, these are the defending champions. They're just coming from. They've qualified to the World Cup, and the team that has qualified to the World Cup performing at that level, with the way we saw, it's disastrous. Okay, there are a lot of things that you can look at and start analyzing it well. Okay, I think the association kind of just lost, especially on the appointment of the coach. Okay, I was reading on the comments yesterday. You clearly see that everything is being thrown to Chris. Okay, and I think maybe this is the time that sometimes when you're offered such a job, you decline. You understand? Because he only has been in that job. I think he only met that team 3 times. Okay, we saw the announcement of Emmanuel Suarez, and even Emmanuel Suarez, he was only going to be with the team for about 1 week. Okay, because that team was being drilled by Clifford Miranda, and I visited them in camp one time to just see at Lusaka Club on how they were training. It was Clifford. There was no coach. Okay, so I think the preparations towards Zimbabwe are seriously been very bad. And these are not experienced players. They needed a coach as early as possible. So I will forgive Chris for now and see what happens tomorrow as they play their second game. But to describe it, it's a disaster start.
Okay, thanks, Bozani. Moving on, we'll just touch briefly on the Zambia national team performances since it was on Monday, and we did not go live to discuss that game on Monday. Guys, real quick, not a lot of minutes on this one, maybe 2 minutes each. Your views on the performance of the Zambia national team against Morocco. We'll start with Abayelo.
It's time to hit the reset button for the Zambia national soccer team. We have tried to hang on to some of these players. We need to do a reset button. We need to have, if we're going to talk about qualifying to even the bigger tournament like 20, we don't even need to be talking about 2030 World Cup right now. We just need to to get our house in order, because if we start talking about a big tournament like the World Cup 2030, which is just 5 years from now. And when you look at where we are miles, we are like far away from talking about such tournaments. So for us to be talking about such tournaments, it's dreaming, looking at what we have on the ground right now. So the gap that has been created, between these teams. We used to struggle when you go to North Africa, but nobody would beat us at home. That's how Zambia was. We never used to lose at home. But nowadays, every team is
Your 2
coming.
minutes is up.
Tanzania would come here and beat us. Someone should mute the mic. Yeah, so we need to make Zambia a fortress once more. We need to start with that basic. Stop losing games at home and build from there. We used to suffer from in North Africa, not at home. Let's now reset. Let's start all over with this national team. Let's prune. Let's if we are going to sacrifice results for rebuild, let's do that now. Let's sacrifice these results. The coming results, the COSAFA, these tournaments coming. Let's start with young players. Let's rebuild. Let's build around the players like Miguel. Let's build around young players in that team. Let's remove all these these old players. Let's move away from those. Let's move away from the captain. What is his name again? Lubambo Msonda. Let us move away from these players like Kawaso Chongo. What they are all not going to be there in 2030 if we are going to qualify for such tournaments. AFCON, what? Let's start all over. Let's build a new national team with new players. Let's sacrifice the few coming results. We are going to lose if we are going to start a new team, but let us accept that for a new start. Let us rebuild the national team. Let us do away with players that have been at the same level for a long time. There's players like Emmanuel Banda. We have never achieved anything with such players. Emmanuel Banda. We've never really had any success with these names. Let us move away from such players. Let us start all over. Let's make the new national team comprising of new national team, new players. If they are going to be local, let us start with that. If we are going to take few players from abroad, let us start with that. But we should look at the age issue. Let us look at also the how far the players can go. Those that have reached the last developmental stage. Let us do away with those kids. Let us look at players that can develop in the next 3 years, 4 years, and do away with the players that this like the goalkeeper and Sabata. How many times is this goalkeeper going to cost the national team? How many errors has this guy made for the national team? And yet they keep calling him all over again. Every now and then they keep calling him. What are we trying to learn from Sawata? What are we still expecting Sawata to improve? Because at some point they were calling him, he made some mistakes. They were saying, he's young, he's developing. But now it's been 10, 15, 10 years. We're still calling the same player. He's still making the same mistake. It just beats my mind why we keep making same mistakes, calling same players. They are giving us same results. I just don't understand what direction our national team is headed. We need a fresh reset. We need a fresh start. We need new players in that team. Players with hunger, players with new perspective, players that can learn, players that have got age and time to develop. So most of those players, half of the team should be removed. Players that can't develop any further should go. We are not developing with these players we have right now. We keep getting same results. We need to sacrifice and forget about these 2030 dreams. Let's start rebuilding the national team stage by stage and build until we start now dreaming about these big tournaments.
I think in a nutshell, what Jones is trying to say is here, we need to get rid of the coach. The coach is a problem for our national team. Some will come out and say, he qualified us to AFCON. He did his job. But I think the way people were calling for Bruce Mape to step down, to come out and say, hey, he needs to go, Apela. This guy never even really arrived. And Apela Pamene per qualification. we talk of having useless players in the national team. The narrative I've always refused to believe is that there's no talent in the country. There's amongst that same team, we always also want to come back and refer to the league and talk about the standards of the league. But you look at half of the team, you've got Patson Daka, Fashion Sakala, Lamek Banda, Klins Kangwa, Miguel Chaiwa, all of those playing abroad. And you want to come back and now start saying, hey, it's the quality of the league. Let me just finish. At the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, the coach has been with us from 2022, around there. And him being with us from 2022, it appears that he's been building from the time he got to the country. He's been building a team, and still up to now doesn't know. We are going to World Cup qualifiers and still doesn't have a left back, doesn't have a right back, doesn't have a team that you can call and say this is all he knows is I'm going to call a player that's playing overseas. Like I said, if I went to Thailand with my family today and my child was playing for Dovo United somewhere, and as long as he's overseas, he'll be called to the national team. That's the mentality that Avram Grant has. And what's more disappointing for me is having the likes of Moses Sichone, who are Zambian, who should be going to these games, looking at players that could actually maybe bring something to the national team. But he's seemingly more comfortable. He behaves exactly like Avram Grant, very comfortable in the background, just chilling. Maybe he also lives in Israel, for all I know. At the end of the day, the buck stops with the coach. And if we continue with this coach who's coming to this country and keeps building and not coming up with a solid team up to now, it's very disappointing. I mean, honestly speaking, you're telling me we don't have a left back that you can even point at and say, oh, you're no baller. We don't have the right back I can point out and say, I agree, certain players like Emmanuel Banda, etc., maybe have not done well for the national team. But you know what? It's the job of the coach to get a tune out of these players. The coach shouldn't be in situations where he's fighting with small boys and things like that. He should be the father figure and also there to make sure that everyone is in tune with his philosophy and everyone can implement his philosophy. But it's clear and evident that his career has dwindled over time and he's not the right man to take over the country. A lot of people keep saying that, no, Zambia doesn't have money to get the right coach. Go and get a coach with credentials, who's got a philosophy, someone that actually can bring in a team that can actually be well placed, put together, be one team. You can't be saying the whole nation Maplanga. I refuse to believe in that narrative. The problem that the country has had over time is the administration. That's where the problem starts. Where you have a situation where you have over 10 coaches, you have Beston Chambeshi, Ona Janza, Micho, Sven, all of these guys, and all of these guys coming with a different philosophy, and you expect Zambia to go ahead and have one team that we can say this is the team. Back in the day, not even just back in the day, in just most recent times, you could, even people that don't watch the Zambia Soccer League, people that don't watch the Zambia Super League could wake up and say, I expect this one to start. I expect this one to start. I know this one will start. I know this one will be in a team. Today, you ask those guys who don't even follow the league, but follow the Zambian national team. They don't even have any idea. All they know is fashion. All they know is Patson. The rest of the team, they have no idea. They will be asking questions like, oh, who's that one? Who's Liteta? Who's Nsiku? Those are questions that, it's very disappointing because we've reached at this point. So the back stops with the coach. The coach needs to go. The Football Association of Zambia has to find a way of getting rid of this guy with the poor contracts that were put in place for him to continue having his job, because he's clearly a clueless individual together with his whole technical team. They all need to step down. If I was Avram Grant, I would step down on moral grounds. And I think that's where the building starts, when we bring in a coach with a philosophy that's going to fit with our country and him to take us forward by identifying positions that are required to be filled in the national team.
Medias.
Yeah, thanks, Patch. I think for me, I'm going to write on John's comments. I think it's time it's time that we need change. It's time that we beat patience, sacrifice results, and sacrifice results, and just get rid of these senior players. We can't be having toast, game in, game out, making the same mistakes. Obviously, I also write on Musman's comments when he says we need a new coach. It's simple. We need a new coach. We need to change a lot of players. Yeah, that's my submission.
James.
Punch, thank you very much. If you are a national team, it's ever a debate that is never ending. And because of that, I don't know what else we need to do. People are calling for Grant to go. And others, they are saying, no, we don't just have enough quality. But I think the last 10 years, I can say maybe what we have now has been the best quality because we are though others are a bit of average, but they're the best for us if we can look at it. So for now, it just seems like everything's not going our way. Maybe trying to retire Grant the way we retired Bruce Mwape. So we can try to retire Grant and we see what they'll bring for us. Maybe someone will get the best out of the players. Maybe the problem might be with the Grant, but my honest opinion, I think also our players, that passion, that hunger that someone is representing the national team, I don't really see it anymore these days. So I'm not sure whether it has to do with the coach or it's just our boys who are not just serious when it comes to the national duty. So it's worrying actually. Our Zambian football, the national team, I always say our national team died right after 2012. For me, that's way back. That's where the national team died from. And we didn't seem to care at that particular time because we'd get a calculator and somehow qualify to the Africa Cup where we went apart from this one, the last two Africa Cup, 2013 and 2015 that we went, we won no game. The best result we had was a draw. And the draw could not even make us come out second, or we were eliminated from the group stages. So it's something to worry about, and we need to do a proper management, player management, which we have a lot of potential when they're growing up. When they reach there, there's no more. And the other thing is recycling of below par players. And in other words, as Aaron would say, Maplanga, in the national team, it's something that is killing our national team. So it's not impressive. And right now for World Cup, our hopes are gone. Let's hope 2030. And it's very sad to see teams like Cape Verde to be on the verge of going to the World Cup again before us. So it's hurting, but that's just the reality. So when we do a reality check, maybe we try the change of a coach, because sometimes someone can bring the best out of them. But that passion, that hunger to play for the nation, I think it has died, Punch. It's no longer there among players. It's just something that we no longer see. So if Vavuta, let's see, there's a joke I was writing on Facebook where someone said if Nkana fans were able to put money together and bought chairs for Left Stadium and repaired it, as a nation, as football lovers, we can put whatever in my 20 kwacha to buy out Granty's contract so that he lives in our nation. So maybe that way, FAZ should incorporate the corporate world and try to rob something to buy out his contract and let him leave, and we try someone else. So Zambia, we really need to develop, and our nation. It's a pity. Very soon, when we go to COSAFA, even the national team, even the teams we used to beat, I know they are developing, but they'll be beating us badly if we go on with this kind of football that we are playing. So for now, I think there's a need of change of a coach, and also there's a need to call for boys to work hard, because there is fair attitude. It's all over in the team, and these guys who are in Europe, they are also coming with their egos. They're not coming to die a bit for the nation. They're coming with their egos, with that thing of what. There's no one whom I could see was really trying to die for a nation.
Look.
So I think that's my submission, Punch.
Bozani, are you there? Bozani, are you there? Okay, you can't seem to hear Bozani. Okay, let me share.
Punch, just before you come in, one point. Also, yeah, someone spoke about the attitude of the national team players right now. There's a lot of complaints in Ndola. You know, first after that, I was very, very disappointed with the FAZ president's message that every setback is a success. I don't know whatever that means. I don't know if it's in law or it's in football. Every setback is a success. I hope journalists can ask him to clarify that statement. I didn't like it. Then there's a complaint of people that were in Ndola that after the game, a lot of Zambian footballers were seen in the pubs, drinking and what. When did we come to that level where the national team doesn't even care about how fans feel anymore? Like after you lose a game, you are out in the clubs drinking and dancing. Like, when did we change? When did we stop feeling the pain of losing? All Morocco national team just assembled quietly after winning. They went to their hotel, stayed in. But our national team players went like they're the ones who have just qualified to the World Cup. They went to the pubs and started drinking with fans. It was so disappointing. I just needed to express that.
Okay, thanks a lot. So let me add my views as well to this Zambia national team performance. For those who may not have read, I did write about it. The loss to Morocco does not come as a surprise. It's a chain of events. We didn't have friendly games, and my worry is that the FAZ executive really now. I know that they have challenges.
Are you saying friendly games for an international break?
No, you allow me to finish. Allow me to finish. Allow me to finish. I know that the Football Association of Zambia executive said that there's debt over 100 million kwacha, which was left, and this has impeded their work in terms of finding friendlies. We didn't have any friendlies building up for the CHAN. So already that was a worry, seeing that we're going to such an important tournament and we don't play any games while the other countries are playing friendly matches, they're preparing. And then we had Avram Grant announced very last minute as the coach. Now, when it comes to the senior national team, I feel there are a lot of things I personally feel that if they're not changed, that there's been too much change, which will mean that Zambian football is going to go backwards by 5, 6, 7 years, because the change is, I feel, is just a little bit too. It's just a little bit too much. One of those is my observations, and I know I talked to some people at FAZ afterwards. After I wrote an article saying that I felt that access to the Zambia national team, it was too easy. That anyone could have access, and I know where I'm coming from when I say this. Someone from who's part of FAZ, says that no, there was actually an open day. That's when we went there, and we didn't disturb the team, the players. To be honest, I feel FAZ, it needs to be priority from FAZ to make sure moving forward, as few people as possible have access to the Zambia national team when we're preparing for important games. You look at the Moroccan national team, fans were there as they were training. I'm heard they told people to leave, literally chasing people to leave so that the team could train. For me, I did not see all throughout the build-up, and this is based on what we saw, the pictures and all that. I did not see, and similar situation to the Chan. I did not see the seriousness in terms of that we're going to win a game. The Moroccans, their faces, seriousness. The pictures which you saw on their social media platforms, particularly the Moroccan FA page, you could see these guys have come for business, which was shocking because they had qualified, they had won all their games. But it's a mentality issue. They take every game seriously as they take every past game. Now, if we're going to be talking about qualifying for 2030, and at this point in time, 2025, there are national teams at this point, as we speak, who have already started preparing for 2030 2 years ago. We're preparing for 2030 now. The 2026 qualifiers will be done. It's going to be a year. And then the 2030 qualifiers will begin. I feel we are a little bit late on a number of issues, one of them being attitude. If we want to do great things, attitude matters. Our attitude, from what is being portrayed, is more like, and I'm saying there's nothing wrong with it. I hope people understand from this. There's nothing wrong with it, but it seems more of a celebratory atmosphere, celebrating. But we can't celebrate before we actually win. We need to win, and then we celebrate. And I feel that the players did not feel the gravity of the situation. That's why we lost so easy. That's why players could make such mistakes, and then they'll be like, there's nothing which is really going to happen. There doesn't seem to be any consequences for a poor performance, whether it's on the technical bench, whether it's from the players themselves. And another thing which is very important is the role of the technical committee, the Zambia national team technical committee. I feel if there was a way, I know that it's a regulation which FAZ introduced in 2021. For those who may have followed me, I've always disagreed with the Zambia technical national team. And when I've done my research, there's nowhere in Africa where there's a technical committee dedicated to the national team. Yes, there are technical committees dedicated to development, that get dedicated to broader issues, bigger issues, not just looking at the national team. This can cause challenges because, as an example, during the CHAN, the Zambia national team technical committee was there. And I felt that was a problem because how do we expect the coaches to work independently? Because the technical committee are there, and there's nothing wrong with the idea of the technical committee, but the technical committee are there to provide, advice to them, and they're there as a link from the Zambia national team to the FAZ Exco, so that they take, so this is what's going on with our game. We didn't play well like that. They do a report. But I feel that that's why we have a FAZ technical director. Why not employ other people in the technical director role so that they are the ones who do that, because they're employees of FAZ? I feel it becomes interference because the technical committee has got coaches who, some of them, I believe, still would love to coach the national team. So how are we sure, and this has got nothing to do with the particular individuals, how are we sure that they may not be able to interfere with the work of Abraham Grant, even if indirectly or unknowingly, just by being there? So it's a problem. So this Zambia national team technical committee, and I know FAZ in 2021, has got nothing to do with the administration which is there now. FAZ in 2021, they wanted to bring it back because Zambia in the past, in the 90s, we had a technical committee, which was there in the 90s. So they wanted to bring, but 90s are gone, guys. Vintu vinachinja. 90s, you saw how the bad decision that the FAZ technical committee made last year, and this is not from this administration, which is that was last year. The FAZ technical committee, and I criticized this, and a lot of us did. They said that we should have national trials. I thought that's a bad idea. I commented on the FAZ page. I made comments on my own page. I said this is a horrible idea. How do you have and this is, and I said, listen, that this is the challenge of having this technical committee. By the time ideas, and what happened? Did that FAZ national trials, did it even identify one player for the Zambia national team? Zero. Yet how many players were how many players had those trials? There were over 700 players, and yet zero. That means it failed. And this is something which was also introduced in 2013, whereby 1 or 2 players, yes, that's good. But generally speaking, this thing hasn't worked. Now, here's the technical committee around the Zambia national team, and we can't expect Grants to win. We can't. So I feel the technical committee should not be anywhere near Zambia national team training. They can maybe they can be recording the games, technology recording the games, and the technical committee are watching the recordings, recording the trainings. Maybe that way, but not whereby they are there. They are sitting there watching. It's interference. No matter what way we look at it, it's interference, and it's one of the reasons why Zambia lost all its games at all our games at Chan. It's one of the reasons why the Zambia, and if it continues, if we are going to play against who are we playing next? Against Tanzania early in October, it's a situation. If it goes now to the women's national team, trust me, against Namibia, we will be beaten. Tizalos. Because now, Coach Nora won't be sure that, are these people coming to take over? Even if she'll be smiling, oh, no problem. It's an unheard of idea in European football and modern day football. It's the idea you could die. But anyway, those are my thoughts. And as far as
just to come in just a bit to counter your point here, because we lost to Tanzania at home without the technical committee being present, without the same national, without the same people that you say have access to the players, etc. We lost at home to Zimbabwe. We lost at home to a lot of these countries. Our football, let's just be honest, has dwindled simply because of administrative errors that we've made. And I've said this simply because you see that Ona Janza, let me just finish. Ona Janza was in the country from 2014 to 2015. Up next was Wandamina from 2015 to 2016. Up next was Wetson Nyirenda from 2016 to 2018. Then came Beston Chambeshi in 2018. After Beston Chambeshi comes on in 2018, you bring on Sven van der Broek in 2018 and you give him a year as well. And he leaves his tenure. Agri Chiengi then takes over in 2019 to 2020. Then you bring in Mitchell, who comes in from 2020 to 2021. And then you bring in Chambeshi, who comes in from 2021 to 2022. Then you again bring in Asanovic, who comes in 2022. And then you let him go, keep Titone as interim. And after interim, you bring in Abraham Grant. Now, this is a list of over 8 coaches that have been there in a period of 6, 7, 8 years. You can't have a situation where you expect to have a solid national team. And this issue is an administrative issue. It's got nothing to do with the technical committee that has been brought about now or was non-existent in the previous years. So this issue is a whole lot to do with administration. I think if we stuck with a certain coach and tried to continue that philosophy, it would have gone on and on. Avram Grant right now, no matter how much you say his feelings are being hurt because he's seeing someone from the technical committee being in and around the area. At the end of the day, he hasn't done a seamless, wonderful job for the country. Yes, he's qualified us to AFCON, but he's had a significant amount of losses. And I'm not going to count Chan. I'm going to talk about serious games like playing Tanzania at home. Those are very embarrassing results. And this is not stemming from Avram Grant, but it's stemming from an administration that just completely kept trying different things because they did not know what they're doing. At the end of the day, you can't have a situation like that and expect the nation to succeed at any given point. We need a structure, and it's about time that structure is put in place, whereby we have one coach and a solid plan, and we go from there. We have been chopping and changing players. How many first choice goalkeepers have we had since Kennedy Mwene left as first choice goalkeeper of the national team? You've seen Toaster, you've seen Lawrence, you've seen Francis Mwansa, you've seen all of these players coming into the national team, and you expect us to have, I mean, up to today, we don't even know who our first choice goalkeeper is. When you have a provisional team, you're seeing Mwenyachiwe. Where's Mwenyachiwe coming from? He's just signed for Zesco. Is he even going to be a first team player? He's dropped from that same provisional squad. We go with Tostan Sabata, who hasn't played a single game ever since moving to Sekukune United. A lot of these problems, you can't just say because the technical committee came and they hurt his feelings. He's the one who made the team selection with regards to starting the likes of Tostan Sabata. People like that, and I've got nothing against Toaster Sabata, but as a Zanaco fan, I've seen Toaster Sabata. The reason he left Zanaco Football Club, we used to bench him 20 minutes into the game because of silly errors, and Mangani Banda would come in. So a lot of these issues have not been rectified. So it's an administrative issue that has been going on that needs to be rectified, and it's been going on for a long time. I've given you an example of coaches that have only been given a year and over a span of 7 years, having 8-9 coaches. There'll be no development there, whether it's Avram Grant, whether it's this, whether it's that. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is Avram Grant still needs to go, because I also feel that everyone here is coming out saying the players don't have a heart. If the coach himself does not have a heart for the country, how will you expect him to put that, instill that national pride into those players? That won't happen. So it's about time we let him go and bring in someone who we can actually say has pride to have this country move forward.
So you're complaining
Come in
about
also.
the firing of coaches, but you still want to fire another coach.
Okay. Let me finish before because I was in. Yes, James. Let me finish before. I'll be very brief because I've touched on this topic for a while. Musiani, I'm not saying that the technical committee was there before our bad losses. I'm saying that they've not helped in any way to improve the performance of the Zambia national team or conditions. We lost all our CHAN games for the first time in history. We've lost. I think we've gone 5-6 games without a win. We didn't win at the COSAFA. So how have the technical committee helped? They've not helped at all. So I feel it's an outdated system, and something which eventually FAZ needs to revise. I talked to, I won't say who, but I talked to someone who's part of the technical committee, who guided me and gave me good information, very good talk. I had to explain what the technical committee is, and I did my research. I checked other countries, and then I just came to the conclusion, my own conclusion, that it's not something that will work. And we saw again, I don't know, but my perception is that the technical committee are the ones who decided to bring in the under-17 technical bench. From perception, from just how it is, I may be wrong. And look at how the Zambia under-17 have done horribly. So I feel it's something which needs to be done away with. But that's my own view. And as we move forward, people will start seeing that this is actually taking the national team backwards and not forwards. But as I said, it's not a thing about this executive. This technical committee has been there since 2021, and it's just a horrible idea. But yeah, you want to say something, James, before we move on to the next topic? Or is there anyone else who hasn't spoken?
Next topic.
I just wanted to have something shortly.
Remember, we said 2 minutes.
This issue of
very brief. We're only giving you 2 minutes.
This issue of blaming this and this, I just have a question for Musi to say. As much as you would want to blame this, blame that, we are tired of what hasn't been done. Let the current FAZ give us a direction. They seem to have no direction. They haven't given us a roadmap where they are taking us. So this is still a problem because currently, in terms of game, whether women with Keith is a failure so far because we have lost all the games we have played under. Yeah, because he hasn't given us a direction.
I think that's a strong word. But anyway, continue.
So in terms of results on the pitch, because out of almost 18 games at the senior level, women and Chan, we've only won 2 games by the women. So no result up. So that rate we are going, it's very poor, and you consider it failed until we start getting results. So the current Chan, as Musman has said, if those problems Musman can say, they promised to work on them, but what have they done so far? Because the results have become worse from bad. So
King,
let them give us a roadmap. That's what we need. We need a roadmap.
Who brought in Nora?
Sorry?
Who brought in Nora? Who makes a team selection?
Has anyone?
Who brought in
You
Nora?
guys who wanted Nora. You guys wanted Nora here. Musman, you
Yes,
cried
I
for
wanted
Nora.
Nora.
Don't complain about it.
I wanted Nora. But you can't come here and say
I
that.
was given 2 minutes.
They haven't won a
Please
game.
help me. You got
All
me
of us
2
here
minutes.
wanted Nora, and they're saying, no, it's kick members for
They're not
because
me. I wanted Bruce to continue.
that's a nonsensical way of type of thinking. You can't be saying kick members
you got me 2
all
minutes,
these games, and yet it's coming off of someone or from a previous.
It's
I've
happening in this
muted
administration.
Punch, you gave me 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Okay,
this topic
all right.
is going.
Yeah. So the truth is, no one has refused the current. No one has refused the current administration to fire anyone. And the truth is, right now we need results. They knew the problem. Results have gone worse from bad. So let them give us a roadmap where they are taking us. Let them explain what they have planned for us, not just to be leading us like we don't know where we are going. So we need a roadmap as their plan, the long-term plan and short-term plan. They haven't given us that. We're just seeing appointments. We're just seeing they haven't come to. So currently, in terms of results, it's a failed project.
Okay, moving on. I know we're going to talk about the FAZ new media department, but we'll talk about it at the end. Let's talk about the league and the actual football, which a lot of fans enjoy. The league returns. Week 4 matches will be played this weekend. We'll start off with Jones. Power at home against NAPSA Stars. It's called the, I don't know if it's the Yellow Smoke Derby. I'm seeing smoke around NAPSA Stars. Put some smoke around. What are your views of this game? And also the jerseys, Power releasing their jerseys. What do you think about the new Aba Yellow jerseys?
It's a very good quality, better quality than the last year one. And this one is going to be about 750. It's going to be the most expensive jersey in the country, but it's worth it because you're buying the jersey for the champions. This is not the teams like Zanaco and what. This is the jersey for the champions. So 750 will be worth it. It will be launched very soon. I think that the dates will be communicated. But what I hear is it's a worthy having jersey, even if you support Tinkana, even if you support Zanaco, all these Warriors, small teams, have this jersey. And Dynamos will be representing the country after all. So when you go to watch that continental game next week between Power and Asset, please just don this Power Dynamos jersey. I promise you, you all look very nice. It's a very quality product on the market that has been released by Power Dynamo. So kudos to the executive there. Yeah, then so the details about the launch and everything will be communicated. But I think what I've heard is the price will be 750 per jersey and that. So it's as usual. In 3 colors, we've got red, yellow, and our traditional 3 colors: red, white, and home color, which is a yellow. Yeah. So coming back to the football, We have Power Dynamos today playing. It's today, right? Let me just check that. Power Dynamos.
Are you missing days because you're not in Zambia? It's still the same day.
Yeah, it's Power Dynamos. That's not important. It's Power Dynamos versus NAPSA. But I have to mention today there is a curtain raiser. There's a curtain raiser. Power Dynamos is officially launching the women's team, the Yellow Queens. So these Yellow Queens will be playing the game at I think it's about to start now, around 10 hours. So they are launching the Copper Queens today. They have played a few games. Last week they recorded a 10-1 win scoreline. So this time they are playing at home. So they are doing they are providing a curtain raiser to the NAPSA powered game. So if you like women team and if you want to support women football, Power Dynamos women are on the pitch. They are going to be launched. I think about 10 hours. The launch will start. The Power Dynamos will be officially unveiling the women's team, and I'm sure this team, just like Power Dynamo started, we didn't waste time in the lower ranks. We were a baby born with teeth. So we are going to shoot straight to the top. We are going to shoot straight up to the league. So watch out for this team. Very soon in the coming 2-3 years, we will be competing in the mainstream women football league. But not right now. We are in the zone and the team is being launched today at Arthur Davis Stadium. So they are going to play a game today before the main team. They are playing Ivenga Queens right now at Arthur Davis Stadium. So please, women or guys who love women football, all the girls, go to Arthur Davis right now and watch the women's team. And the main team will be playing this afternoon against NAPSA. And it's always good to see our former captain Larry at the stadium. He'll be playing for NAPSA, but NAPSA has never been a problem for Power Dynamos. We are going to beat them and get positive results as we head into the continental game next week against ASEC Mimosa. But Power Dynamos looking positive. Everything positive news this week. Jersey, the Queens, and the main team all at Arthur Davis today. So see you there.
Musiani, Zanaco will be at home today at Sunset versus Nkwazi. Stubborn Nkwazi, what are your views of this game?
Newly refurbished Zanaco Football Club. People used to complain about sitting and whatnot, and we finally put up something on the side where people used to stand. And it's funny how you get all this negativity. The comments that you are seeing online. What is this? What is that? What is this? What is that? But it's funny to me because that's a serious. It shows that our sponsors are actually looking at things. And over time, if you look at our terraces, our original terraces, they were never like that. But over time, you've seen as a Zanaco, and over time, things will improve. This new side, I think, let's give respect and let's give props to Zanaco, the sponsor, for setting this up. And I think it's a good development for Zanaco Football Club. I'm also going to brush a bit on jerseys. I think our generation has become a generation of weak parents. I think it's not normal that a Power fan wears a Nkana jersey, whether you're joking or not. I think we're taking away what rivalry is. It's not normal that a Nkana parent wears a Kawe Warriors jersey. It's not normal. We're taking away rivalry from it. We're raising our children to think that's normal. You don't wear your rival's jersey. It should be something that you hate to wear. But Zambians, we've become about, oh no, we should help. We're supporting Zambian football. No, that's nonsensical type of thinking. If that's your rival, do not wear their jersey at any given point and don't raise your children. I don't see a day where my father would have told me to put on a Power jersey in the house or Nkana jersey. That would have been a serious insult. So that being said, I think that needs to change. That mentality needs to change. Those parents who are doing that, having your kids wear Nkana jerseys just for jokes or whatever, I think that needs to come to an end. Now, coming to my game, Nkwazi Football Club have always been a problem for us. We've never had it easy. It's just that we're a very sane team. We don't do those funny games. Nkwazi always give you a hard time when you're entering their stadium, and sometimes you'd wish we could just also play with their minds as well and come to a stadium, but we just don't play like that. But each time we go to Nkwazi, there's issues. They'll close the gate 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever before we enter. But now they're coming to Sunset. We're coming off of 2 wins and a draw. We haven't conceded a single goal. Our striker Ariana is still yet to come out on fire, but he's playing extremely well. We've got 3 international players that have just come back. Malawi had a decent outing, beating Namibia away. So you've got the likes of Kaonga, Chawanangwa, who've all played the Saizis, who've all played part of the World Cup qualifier. So they're coming in with a bit of some legs in them, and I think the team are going to do extremely well. We've just bought this 19-year-old boy from Tanzania. We hope to see him come in a few games so we can see what he's like. The deal was very shocking for me. It was unexpected, and to see a 19-year-old being brought in goes to say a lot about how Zanaco is viewing some of the youngsters that we have. That being said, we still do a lot of grassroots, and I'm surprised that no one from those grassroots, has been signed onto the main team, in as much as we've infused and brought in a lot of players. So this is going to be a very difficult game for us. It always will be a difficult game, but I've got faith in Zanaco this time around, seeing that, we have not conceded. We went to Southern Province, didn't concede. We went to Central Province, didn't concede, won the game. So this is going to be a game that I expect us to dominate, not fully, because Nkwazi become prime Manchester City when they're playing us. But I think it's a game that we've gotten some structure under Numamba, and I think the back four that is put together is so solid that I've got so much faith that it will take a lot to score against us. So it will all be dependent on our upfront, the likes of Ariana, the likes of Chawanangwa, and our midfield there in Idana. These guys will have to play a vital role in today's game, and to help us see it out. I don't mind even if it's a 1-0 result or a 2-0 result, but I actually see it being a 2-0 scoreline. So I see us winning this game by 2-0, and I think it will take a while for us, Zanaco Football Club, to get beaten in the league this season.
Okay, thanks. Milias, are you there?
Yes, Punch, very much here.
Cabo Warriors versus Incana.
It's going to be an interesting match. I think this season we haven't started well. We've had 3 draws, 3 points. So out of 3 games. So for me, that's a poor start. So I'm hoping today, since we are playing home, we can have just a different feel of the game and have a win. So it's going to be a tough game, but obviously Nkana as well have got their issues, So I'm just hoping the boys can come to the party and
did Warriors sign any players this season?
Yeah, we did sign a lot of players. One from Zanaco, Jackson from Tondo, and a lot of youngsters. But I think we also had a lot of players going out. And again, what's really killing us is we've got a new coach, new management, so everything just feels as if it's new. So it's just a matter of getting the train going.
And I think you launched a new jersey as well. I think I saw it. No, I didn't see it on Cabo Warriors page. Did they post? But I saw it somewhere. I saw someone getting a jersey.
Yeah, this is so a bit of background. I think the past 2 seasons we haven't had replicas, but for this season, Exco came up with an initiative, and we've got replicas now, so people are able to buy and the like. I don't think really it was a new jersey, just an old one, but now we've got replicas, unless I'm mistaken. Yeah.
Kawe Warriors is such a small.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
we
Yeah,
always
the
it's
look at
actually quite
Zanaco and
interesting.
instantly is their best player.
Musian, isn't that your dad's club?
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Uh, James, Zesco versus Mufrila Wanderers.
Okay. Interesting fixture. Just to start with, I think before I go any further, I think I'd request us on this show also we consider covering National League football and women's football to give them enough time coverage because we've got audience from both these sides. And sometimes we spend a lot of minutes arguing over things that may not even build the league. Okay, coming to to Zesco fixture. It's an interesting fixture that saw good games last season. And as it is, Zesco is still settling this season. That's what I can say. Of course, we won against Tondo, but not yet convincingly because with all this drama that has been happening so far at the club level, we've seen lost points, deducted points from failure to do what's right, and a lot of things. But Zesco is a big club, and we'll be looking forward to reclaim the glory again this season. So I'm expecting a good encounter, and I trust what the club has put together this season, and I'm expecting Zesco to win this game. Though it's not going to be easy, but surely Mufrira, they are old dogs who have been sleeping for a long time. So for now, it's not a threat. I think there are very few teams that I can mention to say they're a threat to Zesco this season. So Mufrira is not one of them. So I'm expecting positive results if we want to Power Dynamos. And then just to mention Power Dynamos, I think they have gathered a good team that it's a bit too good for a provincial league. I went and watched their game, the home game that they were playing, the first one, during the week. I spent time, I ran there to go and see what they have gathered. They've gathered a good team for the provincial. I think that team deserves to be in the National League. Let's hope they should win, and I'm sure to say they're going to win the provincial league, the zone they're in, to be in the National League next season. And these are things that we'll have to see. And it's only sad that Power Dynamos have come up with this because of the issue of licensing, and it's a requirement. If they had started this project, like let's hope after the exit CAF, they will not change their mind again, dump the team like so what's happening somewhere where I will not mention. So we
We
hope
are
they'll
not
sustain
planning
the
to
team
exit
because
CAF.
okay, wherever you end, let's hope after CAF, because next season you're not the ones who are going to be representing us in CAF. Zanaco will be with Zesco. So so what
From
I'm saying is
relegation to CAF, how does it happen?
it will happen. So
Let them,
now
Thank you.
let them focus on survival, my guy. Let them focus on survival.
okay. So Power Dynamos, I think for the provincial league, they've gathered a good team for the provincial, and I think it's going to be way too much for the provincial teams. So it's good to see. So that to have a game, there are games that are being played today. I would have gone to witness the official opening, but nevertheless, let's hope we can find a link where we can watch this official opening. And these are things that excites us when we see them like that. We can say Abahero, not the men's team. Zanaco will finish top 2 this season. So I care for my brother Musman this season. He will be free from stress.
King, you had mentioned some drama. Can you enlighten us, those that don't know the drama? What was going on?
Concerning
Zesco, you said besides the drama. So I think people would want to know what you meant by besides the
issue, no, the issue of the coach, the issue of the player registrations, but I believe the EXCO has worked on it and everything is in order now. So from here going forward, we expect good results, and we are going to see how it's going to be, because some of the Resco coaches will be involved with the national team and the likes. So wow, we will see how the team will go forward. But the truth is, everything is in order now, and we are proud of the team, and we are behind the team. And Zesco is not a small team. I think it's currently the biggest team in Zambia in the last 20 years. So it's not something to argue about. It's something that is evident on the pitch.
With two fans.
We don't talk to teams like Power Dynamos who wins a trophy every after 10, 15 years. So we don't know about that. So in the last 20 years, Zesco is the most dominant team. So
what about in the last 3 years?
We are still the best in the last, even in the last 10 years. We're still the best.
3 years.
What is it that Power has done? Even Zanaco is bigger than Power. So it's not that you're too loud.
Power has won 2 championships in the last 3 years. What are you talking about?
But that's not what makes a club bigger. What makes a club bigger is the history they carry.
What history does Zesco have? Power Dynamo is former African champions, my guy. What are you talking about? Are you serious?
Power like Red Arrows. Power like Red Arrows.
What history are you talking about?
Power and Arsenal, they are the same in the same WhatsApp group.
No, Arsenal has never won a continental tournament. Power Dynamos are African champions, the only African champions in the country. What are you talking about?
Champions that will never host. We are talking of Zesco current in the last 20 years.
History is what built the team. You are talking about history, so I'm telling you about history. Zanaco has no history. Zesco has no history. What are you talking about?
How many leagues
did you have? You've got no history. Zanaco and Zesco have been the most dominant team in the last 20 years.
Zanaco is bigger than Power.
What bigger in terms of what? Zanaco is bigger than Power in terms of what? Tell us one category. Tell us one category where Zanaco is big.
Women's football.
You guys have.
Okay, guys, this argument never ends.
One category where Zanaco is bigger than Power.
No, I'm turning off the mics.
One category that in the last 3 years, you've only managed to equal 7 titles.
So okay, let me go. Let me do a wrap up on the last games. For those who may see, I'm turning away from the screen. I'm just checking. I'm just checking the games. I'm just checking the games which some of the games which will be played, so that we'll be able to mention them all. So other games for me, the game. Okay, there are 2 games.
The derby.
Yeah,
I think dwell a lot on the derby. It's a very big game.
Oh yes, the Musanza derby, Green Eagles versus FC Moza, very big game. This one in Southern Province. I've never attended it, but I'm told some people will travel from like Monze to go to Mazabuka, or to go to Choma to watch this game. Others will travel from other parts of Southern Province to watch this game. So it's quite a big game. These are very recent rivals over the past maybe 4 or 5 years. So there's a lot of expectations. FC Moza doing well so far in the league. They've got some players who I like in that squad. They've got one player, I've forgotten. He's a striker. He graduated from the under-20s just last year. He scored a chip against Concola Blades. For me, so far, it's the best goal of the season. What's his name? I'll try and remember his name. For those who may remember his name, the young FC Moza striker, you can mention his name in the comments. He scored a very nice chip against Concola Blades when FC Moza won away. He's a very young striker. I think maybe he's 19, 20, 21, maybe 22. Then for FC Moza, they also have one Chanda Chideshe, who I think has played well so far this season. He's been really impressive. He's one of those players to look forward to in terms of his form this season. Then for Green Eagles, for me, it's less to do with the players, because I think the players, a lot of them have changed this season because there's a new coach, Perry Mutapa. It's more about the coach, his technical bench. How are they going to Fair moving in front. How is he going to help this team grow? Green Eagles achieved success maybe 5-6 years ago when they went far in CAF, when they didn't reach the group stage, but they managed to beat Orlando Pirates, which was very historic. I think they're the only Zambian team. Yes, they're the only Zambian team to knock out Orlando Pirates. Mufula Wanderers faced them in the 1995. Mufula Wanderers lost. Then Zanaco faced Orlando Pirates as well. Must have been 2013 or 2014. Zanaco lost. So the Green Eagles managed to eliminate Orlando Pirates, which is very rare. Historically, only a few Zambian clubs have eliminated South African teams. Nkana eliminated Mamelodi Sundowns. Nchanga Rangers eliminated Kaizer Chiefs. And yeah, but so it showed that this Green Eagle side was rising. Then I don't know what happened. Maybe 2020, 2021, 2022. And then the club like sort of stagnated. It's not gone up. It's not been good enough to challenge the league.
Athletes is the problem. They brought in athletes.
Yeah.
Football.
So it's not been it's 2 hours. Thank you. Oh, all right. Oh, time moves fast. So it's not been good enough to win and not been good enough. So it's going to be interesting to watch the other game being Green Buffaloes, who will be hosting Mines United. Mines United have shared a beautiful photo of themselves saying that they're going to take down Green Buffalo. So that will be interesting. Konkola Blades, who struggled a little bit, they will be at home against Prison Leopards. Then the game for the weekend for me, Red Arrows versus Nchanga Rangers today. Red Arrows side who are looking to push up the table, facing Nchanga Rangers side who've got a very good strike force, including Christopher Itaka, the current top scorer in the Zambian League, 4 goals in 3 games. Who can be able to get one over the other? It's very interesting. This is one of the games for the weekend for me, and it's going to be interesting to watch. Otherwise, we've mentioned most of the games. We've mentioned most of the games which will be taking all the games which will be taking place in the National League. So we've run out of time. We promised that we'd only be doing 2 hours. I know we were supposed to cover the FAZ media team, but unfortunately, I think we've run out of time. So real quick, James, run us through women's football just in 2 minutes, then we wrap up. In 5 minutes, then we wrap up.
I think it's that time we give audience to women's football now here also, than always wrapping up. Okay. Right now there's a game going on. Zanaco versus Yasa. Zanaco is already leading by 2-0, which the goals were scored in the first 10 minutes. And Zesco versus Elite Ladies. This is a fixture that has bragging rights because Elite Ladies has always had upper hand over Zesco. But starting from last season, Elite Ladies was beaten home and away for the first time. So this is a fixture that has bragging rights over. Kamfisa versus Konkola Bullets. This one, another interesting fixture. Then Indian Roses versus Nchanga. It's another big fixture today at 15 hours. Nchanga Rangers, they have invested, but it looks like the investment hasn't started producing results for them. Tomorrow, we have Red Arrows taking Amazing Grace. I expect the Red Arrows to win this game, though they haven't started well. It's another team that has good sponsorship, but has nothing to show on the pitch. Red Arrows. And then Green Eagles, National Assembly. Green Eagles, they're unbeaten this season, though they failed to win away at Kafisa last week. So it was disappointing. We expected them to win. Trident to host Luyando. Luyando, who have started well this season also. We'll see what they are made of this season. Aaron Mubanga's favorite team in the Women's Super League. ZSD Green Buffaloes. Of course, this is a Green Buffaloes game who are playing good football this season. By the way, Zesco were beaten last season by last week by Green Buffaloes, who scored last 2 minutes to go. That saw Zesco, the defending champion, the 59 games unbeaten, broken because they went 59 games unbeaten in the Zambian Super League as Zesco. So they were the last team to beat them was Green Buffaloes that other season. And again, it's Green Buffaloes who came and ended the dominance of 59 games unbeaten. In 59 games, only losing 1 game, drawing drawing 9. That was a good record. Then Nkwazi versus Chipata Girls, it has been postponed for some reason that has not really been communicated. So the games to look out this weekend is Zesco Elite Ladies. Is a big game. And also we'll be looking forward to see ZSD who have done a bit of investment, but they are not getting results right. And they fired the coach just after 3 games. And this decision came right when they were playing against National Assembly in the stadium. So they have got a new coach, ZST. So let's see what the new coach will do. Though people feel it was too early to fire the coach just after 3 games, losing 3 games, first 3 games. But that decision was made by ZST. So we'll be looking forward to what the new coach is made of. Then also Indeni Changa is another big game that we can look forward to. So if you are in Ndola, there are 2 games played. In Kitwe, there's Kapisa. In Lusaka, Zanaco is already taking Yasa at Independence Stadium. So later on today, there's no football in Lusaka, but much football will be tomorrow. In Koroma Stadium, there will be football. Bank of Zambia, there will be football. And also in Kalumbira, there will be football tomorrow at 15 hours for Trident. And ZSD, of course, tomorrow. So all the Lusaka games will be played tomorrow. So Copper Belt is where there's football today. And Kitwe. Ndora and Kitwe, I mean. Thank you.
Thanks. So let's run through Jones. I think Musiani will be last. What's for the rest of the day? For me, I will be going to the shop in North Mid, check up on things, and then hopefully club jerseys will be arriving in the next couple of weeks. So for those who know where the shop is in North Mid, you can be able to check. Hopefully we'll have some Aba yellow jerseys and for clubs like Cabo Warriors, and then we'll be able to see how we can help in terms of promoting Zambian football. But that's basically it. I'm not watching any game live from the stadium today. I'm probably just going to follow the games on TV. Jones, then Milias, then James, then Musiani, you can be last and sign us off. Your mic is off.
John Zayuma.
Okay.
All right, so for me, Punch, my day is simple. FIFA, then I think later I'm going to watch Red Arrows versus Nchanga. I don't know if they're playing today or tomorrow, but that's a game I have on my radar for the weekend. And I think EPL as well. Yeah, just that's my weekend.
Punch, I'm back.
Okay, Jones, you can go ahead.
Are we not talking about the appointments at first?
No,
You should stop lying to us.
We've stretched the 2 minutes. We promised we would end at 2 minutes. 2 hours, sorry. So you can just sign off. We'll see if we'll talk about it next week.
Is Jones in England or is he in Serbia? The network is very suspect.
Okay. James and then Musiani.
Of course, the most well-decorated and well-dressed team in Zambia, ZSL Girls, will be playing today. So it's it's a game to watch. So the whole weekend will be about women's football. I thought Power Dynamos ladies will be playing tomorrow. I wanted to go and watch again. Unfortunately, it's today. So I think we'll find football to watch even tomorrow. But basically, it's women's football throughout the weekend.
Thanks, James. Well, for me, I've got my radio show at 2:00, but I've also got the Arsenal game at 1:30. Very interesting game. Good to see the former Tottenham coach come back into Nottingham Forest. So, we hope he continues with those same tactics so that Arsenal has an easy win. So I'll be watching the EPL. Then I'll be looking out for the under-17 tomorrow. And I'll mostly be looking out for Nkwazi versus Zanaco versus Nkwazi. I'm just asking that, maybe the ZPL can send us, a list of teams that are going to be broadcasted this weekend. If they can let us know, like during the week on a Wednesday, to know which teams are going to be showing on TV on the weekend, so we can know where we stand, and we can also judge by seeing, are they just showing, in select areas, or are they going to Sunset, are they going to here, are they going to that, or throughout the season. So we just hope they can guide us like that during the week, so that we know what we are able to see on TV and get to watch a lot of other Zambian teams. But guys, this has been the Get Up Show. Remember, everything that we say here is our opinion. A lot of things are opinion based, especially when it comes to the national team. A lot of things that we say are opinion based. Do not take it to heart. You also have a right to your opinion. And a lot of things are factual. Like, for example, when we say that Power Dynamos have only recently, just in the last 3 years, matched Zanaco's 7 winning title record. So things like that are factual, we also bring on the show, and we just talk here. We talk Zambian football to entertain everyone and just to see how we can also help in improving Zambian football. But until next weekend, 8:30 every Saturday, and remember, there's been a time change. It's now 8:30 every Saturday until 10:30. Until next weekend, this has been the Get Up Show. One love, everyone.